Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Lisa, and in this video we're going to talk through how I've completed this lion piece with colour pencils. If you're new here, remember to like and subscribe, and if you feel like you'd like to give this piece a go, you can check me out on Patreon and also my website where this is a full real-time tutorial. You get given the reference photo, line art, material list and step-by-step instructions to complete this all at your own pace. So let's get started drawing the lion. So for pieces like this, I generally always start with the eye just because it gives you a really good place to start from and build on from. I usually go in with a dark sepia or just lightly with a black pencil and do the outline. To get the highlight in the eye, I use a white waxy pencil, either a Holbein white pencil or a Prismacolor white pencil, just to keep that highlight section in there so you don't lose it. And then starting up to build up the colours with the yellows, oranges, putting in a bit of the sky blue as well, and then getting darker with the burnt umber and black, making sure to go around the highlight section so it stays nice and bright. Repeating the same section with the other eye, and then after this I moved on to the nose, and then it's time to get started with the hardest part of it, which is the fur texture. So as we go through this piece, I do take time to explain the different techniques that I use to get the fur texture. So for this part of the piece, I'm explaining how I put down the fur strokes, the techniques that I'm using, and the type of pencil that I'm using as well. So we need to make sure we have a really sharp point for this one, flicking our pencil off in the direction of the fur and against the direction of the fur. But to begin with, we go through and put down a base layer of the warm grey one, ivory, and even some of the beige red where it's a little bit more of that pinky colour. And then we can go in with our lighter tones and start to build up this fur texture, starting with the nougat, warm grey 5, dark sepia, and getting darker to the black. So generally the way that I do this sort of thing is just to break it down into little sections and do little bits at a time. Then when most of it's in or all of it's in, you can always go back and start to make changes where you feel like you need to go lighter or trying to put in more details where you need to. But breaking it down just makes it a little bit easier and stops you from getting frustrated when you're doing such a big piece like this. So when we get to the section where we're doing all of the whiskers, we go through in a lot of detail and just break this down to make it as easy as possible. So for this, I'm using an embossing tool or a stylus, and this just indents the paper so that when you go over it with your pencil, there's no colour in the line. Like I'm doing here, it's best to have a little practice to see which side of the stylus you're going to use. So will it be the pointy end with the ball point, or will it be the end with just the sharper tip? And when you're going over your lines with the pencil, you want to make sure that you're putting your pencil on the side, not straight up and down, otherwise it'll go straight into the lines that you're trying to preserve. And when putting the lines in, I usually just erase one of the lines as I go, then use the stylus to put it in, erase another line and complete it this way, rather than getting rid of all of them, just so I can tell where they're going and you don't lose the outline. Then it's just a matter of going in and building up your colours from light to dark, and then starting to put in some of that fur texture with your fur lines. So I think the hardest part about this whole line was probably the mane and putting in all of that right hand section. It just took a lot of shading, a lot of blending, and then using the slice tool, some of the embossing tool, and also used a colour pencil Zest It blender with a brush just to blend down all of the pencil and make it really nice and saturated so you can't see any of the colour coming through the page. Throughout the real-time tutorial, we break all of this down, and it is very easy to follow along and you learn each section step by step. Then once everything is in, I step back and have a look from afar so I can see where we need to go darker, where I need to add a little bit more detail, and then go through and just add in more of that detail where I think I need it. For the tutorials as well, if you just want to stop here and not put in the background, everyone is always welcome to do that. You don't have to do the backgrounds if that's not what you're into. And I do sometimes feel like it looks a little bit better without a background. But if you like this video, remember to like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of this piece in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks guys.